Be sure you're in a quiet area so you're not disturbed by any background noises such as TVs, dogs playing, children barking, and so forth. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm proud of everybody and how far we come, but I will let my mother, the sponsor, make most of the talking. So please welcome Miss Amazon to talk.
Thank you, Mr. President. All I want to say right now is, wow, what a year. Last year, February the 5th, we had our very first meeting for youth leadership program. I think some of them are still here. Michael was in the youth leadership program last year, and Xavier was there. Since then, we have grown into a club, Memphis Club, about 13 years. So I just want to say, good job, everybody. You made a tremendous improvement for your own personal development. Give yourself a round of applause. I also want to say thank you to our coordinators. I will just say that from the top, from my screen, we have Don Gray. Thank you very much, coordinator. Thank you, Horace Taylor. Thank you, Eric Tweet. And thank you, Tony should be here. I'll give her a little moment. Thank you so very much. You dedicated your effort, your time, your expertise to help these youth to develop themselves. So thank you very much. Now, coordinator Horst Taylor has made a good video to capture some fun memories in the last year. I want to show you just a little bit of it, probably 2 minutes, even though the video is 20 minutes, but I will put a link in the chat so you can see it. We captured everybody, all the faces, but here in this short 2 minutes, we're just gonna, the first thing, we're just gonna show just a piece of here and there to share some good memories we had together last year.
Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests, to our youth leadership program. My name is Don Gray. I am your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I do not see Anthony Bryant in the virtual audience at all.
But I am Anthony Bryant.
Today's meeting, my name is Xavier Taylor.
My name is Peter Shee.
And Matthew Shee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Carruthers. I have a sister named Trinity.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Liu, and I will be your grammarian for today.
I am Tony Britnam, coordinator for the Memphis Gavel Club.
Hello, my name is Peter Shee, and I'm club president of the Gavel Club.
Hello, my name is Anna Zhang. I'm the adult coordinator.
Hello, my name is Daniel Wu. I'm a fellow Gavalier.
Hello, I'm Anson Yan. I'm also a Gavalier.
Hello, my name is Michael Liu. I am the secretary and VP membership.
I am Don Gray. I am a coordinator for the Memphis Gavel Club.
I am Joseph Chen, and I am a member of the Memphis Gavel Club.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Chen. I'm a Gavalier.
Hello, my name is Ray Wu, and I was a former president and member of the Toastmasters Youth Leadership Forum.
My name is Xavier Taylor. I am the Sergeant at Arms for Memphis Gavel Club.
Hello, my name is Tim Zhu.
My name is Eric Treat. I'm a coordinator for the Memphis Gavel Club.
Hello, I am Renee Taylor.
What do you think about Santa Claus? Real or fake? And that goes to Dayton.
That's a good question. Me personally, I do not believe in Santa Claus at all.
I agree. Thank you. What is the worst movie or TV show or film you've ever watched and why?
No. I really don't watch movies like that, so I don't have like.
As the grammarian, I will be announcing the word of the day, which is wangle, a verb.
I will alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red virtual background.
So, dear Toastmaster of the day and other Toastmasters, to start off the speech, I want to ask you all a question. When was the last time you've confidently faced a challenge or an obstacle without running away?
So I heard of this program from my parents. They told me a good amount about it. I heard that some of my friends were going to be in it too, and I just wanted to, pretty much the same as what my brother said, to learn how to speak with groups of people and in front of other people and learn.
So for my icebreaker, I'll be talking about one of my favorite hobbies, which is origami.
There are a lot of people in here who are in high school, me being one of them. I'm actually a junior who is actually about to apply to college. So this topic was very important to me.
And now it is time for our table topic session.
Okay, hello everyone. For today's first question, if you were president for a day, what would be your first action to the country?
This might be controversial, but I will place one person of every race to be in like a big mansion so they can talk it out for a whole day.
Young, gifted, and black. It's a very old song, but it still reigns supreme in my mind in that it does a number of things, not just it has a good beat.
Fishing buddies. We always go fishing when we have extra time to relax. I mean, we enjoy. Thank you for that question.
How many friends do you think is optimal for a person to have? Explain your rationale.
Okay, thank you for the question. I guess I'm kind of an introvert. So the term I learned is ambivert, which is the mix of introvert and extrovert. So I guess I'm in between there as an ambivert. I enjoy having friends and talking to people, but I don't like huge crowds or like huge parties, and sometimes I get tired of those.
Would you ever go skydiving? Why?
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I'm too old for that.
That is a very good question. There's been discussion on this topic in the past, but on the other hand, participation privilege is a thank you for participating in the event.
And Mr. Horace, no wangling people to change their name to Westmore because they think they're a good dancer. Now, time to bring up our general evaluator, Mr. Anson.
Hello, my name is Anson. I am your general evaluator. I will be evaluating what goes on during the meeting.
Here's what you may want to work on. Rehearsing the speech so that you won't have to necessarily rely on your notes.
I got to evaluate Peter, and I think it was a great speech on affirmative action. Your structure, I gave it a 1. At the end, you gave a solution and your opinion on it, and that was good. So I give that a 1.
The next week is our 1-year anniversary for the Gallup.
The something in question is often, though not always, considered bad or unpleasant. Example, many superstitious people believe that breaking a mirror portends trouble. I would now like to pass it back to the president.
Thank you for giving us the word of the day. Now it is my great honor to introduce the timer, Governor Joseph.
Sorry, I disconnected. My bad, you guys. Good afternoon, everyone. As timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. So for the table topic speech, at 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. For the prepared speeches, they should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And lastly, for the individual evaluations, they should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Governor Joseph. Before I go on, I want to introduce our immediate serving district director, moves on, and our immediate past district director, Orlando West. Thank y'all both for taking time to join us today. Now I will introduce the evaluators and the speakers. Evaluator 1 is our president, Governor Peter Shai. Our second evaluator, Governor Xavier Taylor. It is my honor to introduce your first speaker, your 1-year anniversary. Please help me welcome Governor Michael as we welcome him to the virtual lecture.
Today I'll be talking about my winter break trip. The reason I chose this trip because it was so memorable. There were so many fun experiences I had over the trip that it will be best for me to use this speech to present them all to you. Now, as we may all recall, a couple months ago, around the end of December and the start of January, there was a horrible cold storm that left pipes bursting and roads frozen. A couple of days earlier, that spring storm hit Denver. Our flight fortunately made it in. But as soon as I stepped out of the airplane, I felt the shivering cold. It was nothing like I'd ever experienced in Memphis. We were forced to navigate the frozen roads that were covered with ice and melting snow. At one point, my dad was driving down the highway super slowly, and I saw him yank the steering wheel to the left, but the car was still sliding off the curb to the right. I couldn't believe that we would even make it to the ski resort. Finally, late into the night, we made it there after an arduous day of traveling. Unfortunately, we weren't able to enjoy any skiing on that day, but the next day, the fun began. It was awfully cold, but I was determined to have fun. So, I put on the layers of clothing my mother had bought me, the ski clothes, the ski mask, even the face covering, so that my nose wouldn't stop. However, I missed an important detail. I wore these same pair of pants. Wait, apologies. I wore one pair of pants, the ski pants. So that day we had an instructor and it went well. It was the first day. I got back some of my old skiing skills that I had learned from previous breaks, and we had fun skiing down the slopes. However, I knew nothing of the arduous night that I was about to experience. I had no signs that would portend me the awful, shivering cold that had actually seeped into my bones. As soon as I got home into our hotel, I began to feel a strange sensation, one that I'd known only 1 or 2 times before, a feeling that you just couldn't get warm, no matter how many clothes you put on. Even a hot shower didn't help. At that point, your body had burned all of its energy. It couldn't keep itself warm anymore. So that night, I was reduced to a shivering mess, huddling in my blankets, watching YouTube videos to pass the time. Why? I made a mistake. First, that day was awfully cold, and me, in my desperate attempts to eat healthy, had decided on a small breakfast. Big mistake. That left my body with no energy to burn. I did not make that mistake the next morning. Next morning, I stuffed cheese, ham, crackers, protein shake, everything down my throat just so I could keep warm. Next day, I wore these as well inside the ski pants. Feeling like a juggernaut with all those layers of clothes, I headed up the slope again. There was no coach that day, so me and my dad, we skied down the slope together, having fun. It was great. We got to enjoy many different courses down the slopes, and we were practicing the techniques we learned yesterday. I was able to stay warm today. That was the good thing. Now, we had lunch on the mountain. It was okay, but it wasn't anything you would expect. After all, ski resorts are not meant to be restaurants. Right after lunch, without any prior warm-up, we decided to ski down a blue run. Now, green runs are the easiest. Anyone with a little bit of ski experience can navigate down them pretty easily without falling. Blue runs are slightly harder, and black runs are suicide for my level. So, we went down this blue run called Mozart. The slope, although it probably wasn't very steep, looked very steep to me. Right after lunch, still clumsy on my feet, I was so scared. All the technique went out the window. Objective, survive. Going down the slope with horrible form, trying with all my might to keep my speed below the terminal velocity of my body, I made it down the slope. After that scare, I decided that another thing was also needed for safe skiing. Warm-up. Never, after lunch, would I go skiing without warm-up again. The third day, we had a different coach who truly taught me the more basics of skiing. After all, anyone with a decent sense of balance can ski, but there are many more minutiae that can be used during skiing to make the experience more enjoyable and also safer. Some of the things I couldn't even notice, but the coach pointed them out to me, and one by one, I worked on fixing. Overall, the trip was a great experience, and I enjoyed skiing greatly. My experiences really made that break fun and enjoyable. It is a very good break from schoolwork that I was normally used to. It allowed me to relax and enjoy an activity that I love. That is also why I believe everyone should spend some time every now and then away from their normal lives, or maybe even in their normal lives, but do something that they enjoy, that they can relax in, and head back to school with new vigor or work. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful speech. To evaluate Don Gray, to distinguish Professor Don Gray will be Gabriel Xavier Taylor, and he will tell us what his duties will be today.
Thank you, Mr. Eric Tree. As evaluator for Mr. Don Gray, this is his icebreaker speech. So he will introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I'll be following the criteria sheet, following the 5 points: clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, comfort level, and interest.
Thank you, Gabriel Taylor. Our second speaker of the day is an experienced Toastmaster, a mentor of mine. Please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Don Gray to the virtual lecture.
Thank you, Cavalier Xavier Taylor and distinguished Toastmaster Eric Treat. Of course, everyone knows my name is Donald Gray. My friends and fellow Toastmasters call me Don. I do not consider myself a public speaker, but I have a willing heart. What do I mean by a willing heart? I simply mean that I am the type of person that will try when asked to do something if it's within my power. I am not afraid to try. One of the cornerstones of my life is that I consider myself to be a man of my word. After all, what else does a man have to offer but his word? My story is a simple story. I was born at the Milton Naval Air Station in Milton, Tennessee. My father was Dennis Gray Sr. He was a chief petty officer in the United States Navy. We are from the state of Connecticut. He served in the Navy for over 20 years. My mother, Ruth Oliver, is from Covington, Tennessee, which is right down the road from the Naval Air Station. My father and my mother met, and from their marriage, 5 children were born. My sister, Ruth and Mildred Gray, unfortunately, my sister Ruth is now deceased. My brother, Dennis Gray II, and I also have a twin brother. His name is Ronald Allen Gray. My mother had 2 children from a previous marriage. From that marriage was born James and Annette Spencer. James is now deceased. My immediate family includes my wife, Dorothy, 2 sons, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 4 grandsons. I grew up in the Riverview, Kansas area of South Memphis. I graduated from Southside High School. After high school, I entered the U.S. Army, where I completed 2 years and 4 months of a 3-year enlistment period before being retired as a combat veteran due to a blast injury to my right hand. Most people don't notice that. Currently, my status is military retired veteran. When I was in the military, I served with the 6th to 9th Combat Engineers and the Republic of Vietnam. After the military, I continued my education at the Memphis Area Vocational Technical School, where I graduated with a state diploma in commercial graphics and photography. Next, I attended Shelby State Community College, which is now Southwest Tennessee Community College, and I graduated there with an associate degree in business management. I have also completed over 200 hours of state training as a criminal investigator. I have worked various jobs, including warehousing, shipping, marketing, sales, and criminal investigation. I have held several professional licenses from the state of Tennessee, including private investigator, which is one of my favorites, real estate agent, and life insurance agent. All of these licenses are now retired. Most of my work experience has come in the field of criminal investigation. At that time, I worked with the Shelby County Courts as a criminal investigator, licensed by the state of Tennessee. I am also a member of Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church, located on Jubert Street in the Riverview, Kansas area in Memphis. I have been a member of this church since 1999. I am also a founding member of Health Watch Urban Ministry Incorporated, where I served in various positions for over 9 years. This is a nonprofit dedicated to helping low-income families and children improve the quality of life within the Memphis, Riverview, and South Memphis area. I am also a 33rd degree Mason and a past grant officer for the Prince Hall Mason, state of Tennessee. I have been a Prince Hall Mason for 32 years. My favorite sports teams are the Memphis Grizzlies, the Tennessee Titans, and the University of Memphis Tiger basketball team. My hobbies are I love bass fishing, photography, and barbecue cooking. As I said earlier, I consider myself to be a man of my word. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I will do it, or I will make an attempt to do it. If I fail, I fail. I consider myself simply just a kind-hearted person who does not mind helping others. I love the Lord and I love my family. I'm not afraid to step up. I also try to live a simple life, a life free of drama and trouble. Fellow Toastmasters and Cavaliers, thank you for this time to tell you a little bit about my history. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, distinguished Master Don Gray, for telling us about yourself. Now, it's time to think on our feet as we go into the impromptu speeches. It's my honor to introduce the Gabriel Chan, and they will explain the role and duties of what they will do today. Please help us welcome Gabriel Chan to the Metro Gabriel.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. As table topics master, I will give impromptu questions to all of y'all, and you guys have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. So I'll just get started. The first question is for Ray. How are you doing after the youth leadership program?
I think it's actually gone pretty well. So the youth leadership program helped me a lot when it came to knowing how to present myself when I'm speaking. And I feel like that was something that I was not necessarily completely missing, but I had less experience in than other aspects when it came to public speaking. And learning how to present myself, learning where to look for audiences, learning how to use hand movements for audiences, all that really, really helped me in a lot of different places, from teaching math to middle schoolers, to tutoring, to going up on stage during Chinese New Year. It was a great experience, and I would definitely do it over again.
The next question is for Daniel. Since Valentine's Day is coming up, do you think Valentine's is cheesy, or have you ever had a Valentine?
Could you repeat the question? I couldn't quite get it.
Do you think Valentine's Day is cheesy? Have you ever had a Valentine?
Thank you for that question. To answer your latter question, no, I have never had a Valentine before. And in some cases, yes, it is a bit cheesy. Some people like to make it over the top. But some people like to make it normal. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit cheesy. Next question is, if you could outlaw one vegetable, what would it be? And it's for Xavier Taylor.
Thank you for the question. If I could outlaw one vegetable, to be completely honest, I'm not sure which vegetable I would outlaw. Vegetables overall, I think are great for you. I'm trying to think of one right now. Maybe a cabbage. The cabbage, from what I remember in the past, we've grown cabbages here at this house. Okay. Cabbage, although sometimes they taste good, is the growing process of it is strange to me from what I could remember. Taking care of it, making sure that it was right, not making sure there was too many bugs or anything eating it out in the garden. Also, cabbages. One thing I really remember about cabbages that they tend to be pretty big when they grow, and eating all of that is somewhat of a challenge. So you might have to throw away some or give it away. So if I were to outlaw one vegetable, I would say a cabbage. Thank you for the question.
For me, I would say asparagus. The next question is, or who here knows or have used the AI writer ChatGPT?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? My bad.
What are some of your thoughts or concerns about ChatGPT?
Okay, so I do have some experience in ChatGPT, and it is a topic that's pretty controversial, especially in school and for English and history teachers, because students have been using ChatGPT to write their essays. If you don't know, ChatGPT is an AI, and what you can do is ask the AI, you give it a topic or ask a question, and the AI will write a whole bunch of stuff for you. It's pretty cool, and it's really crazy. But students have also been using ChatGPT to complete their homework and write their essays while earning high marks on those assignments. So by doing that, the student's not really doing any work. It's the AI that's doing it. And my English teacher is pretty concerned about that and even recommended switching from essay writing to giving speeches for memory and without any notes or anything. I personally still want to continue writing essays. It's fun for me, but it's definitely going to be a issue with AI and all this stuff. So thank you.
What is the program called? AI what?
It's called Chat GPT. It's created by a company called OpenAI, I believe. I'll send a link in the chat.
Thank you.
The next question is, if you were to go back in time 200 years, what would you use to prove you are from the future? That question goes to Tim.
Could you clarify like how far into the future or from the past? How far in the past would you say?
200 years.
Oh, 200 years? Like, am I allowed to bring anything or do I just have to prove?
What would you use to prove you are from the future? So you could bring it.
Well, considering that it's 200 years ago, I'd say, although I'm not very knowledgeable of like how to make many things, I would probably, considering 2000 years ago, 200 years ago, of course, their iPhones and technology isn't as advanced as it is now. So you can't really just, I guess I could just bring a phone, but that wouldn't really work since there wouldn't be internet, considering how long ago it was. And you can't really show much information. I'd probably, I don't know where I would get this, but newspapers, I guess. That'd probably be the most easiest way since it correlates what they used back then. I'm not sure what places still make newspapers, but I'm sure there are some. I probably grab a bunch of relevant topics and important topics from the future and bring it back, I guess, and uh probably bringing them in increments of maybe every few years of newspapers so that they can see that after, let's just say, like I'm not very good on history, but let's just say an important event happened and it was on a newspaper. So I bring that newspaper back to the past and then they can read it. And in the future, and after that, when that occurs, they can realize that I'm just from the future. It's kind of complicating, but that's how I do it.
Next question is, Have you ever cried reading a book? Which book and which scene? That question goes to Peter.
Thanks for the question, Jonathan. Me personally, to be honest, I don't really read books. The last book that I read, which actually kind of touched me, was I think everybody in here would be familiar with Percy Jackson. That was a childhood book for me. After that, I think reading went downhill for me because I never found something better than it. So I didn't necessarily cry to it. I haven't even cried to like really any movies. I don't really cry to a lot of stuff. So I guess the only book that really moved me was the whole entire Percy Jackson series. I was really invested in it. I read everything from the Lightning Thief to spin-off series where y'all probably didn't know, but like it was the Roman guys and the Greek guys. And I read like literally every single thing that had to do with Percy Jackson. So yeah, thank you for a fellow friend right here who read it too. But yeah, that whole series I read from start to finish, and it really moved me because I felt like the depth of the characters, along with the storyline, all came and culminated together. Great story. So yeah, that's really the only thing that got me, I guess, closer to reading a book this time. Thank you for the question.
Do we have time for a couple more? Or...
No, it's one left. I think we should go back to the thing. Yeah, I think that we're a little over time. So yeah, I think we'll pass it on to the evaluation section.
Thank you for wonderful questions and responses. During my time as a coordinator, I have heard some wonderful speeches and wonderful evaluations from each of you. You have laid a wonderful foundation for your future, and I urge you to continue on in your Toastmaster journey when you turn 18. And it is my great honor to introduce your general evaluator for today, Gabrielle Yan. Please help me welcome Gabrielle Yan to the virtual lesson.
My apologies. I think the general evaluator was stated, so I will know.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Cavaliers, guests, distinguished Toastmasters. It's time for the evaluation session. We had two speakers today. Who are they? Peter Shee and Michael and Don Gray. Let me call up the first evaluator.
So, one, great speech. I really liked the whole thing. It was about your winter break trip, and very I really feel for you because us and the monk were stuck on the plane and really coded Miami. So yeah, I really relate to that. Going on to it, we're talking about you used a lot of imagery. You talk about how you're driving down the icy road, how it's late night, how it's really dark outside. You used a lot of imagery to describe the scene, which is very good because it helps the listener feel like they're inside that position, which is very good. For the right words and sentence structure, I feel like because you use a lot of imagery, you use very specific words. Not a lot of words went without meaning. You, for example, use the word memorable, shivering, navigate the icy road, and how your father yanked the wheel, but you kept on sliding through it. So all those words have really big meaning, and they got to the point, and they're very specific words. Unlimited jargon and unnecessary words. I believe you did very aware of this. As I said before, very descriptive words. So not a lot of words, empty words. So every word had to mean every word progress the story. Areas to work on. It was really hard to kind of find sort of area to work on. I was kind of struggling on this. But the only thing that I think maybe improve on, and this depends on like the setting, but I think you could use your body a little bit more, especially because it was a descriptive kind of speech where you're talking about like yanking the wheel or sliding. You could probably be, use your body more. That's the only thing that I can do. But overall, thank you.
Thank you so much for those kind words and the evaluation, the assessment. Now let's bring up the second evaluator, Toastmaster or Cavalier Xavier Taylor.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. General Evaluator. I would like to pretend you that this icebreaker speech from Mr. Don Gray was excellent. First, I'd like to say the clarity of the words and his overall language in the speech was well. As far as I could tell, there were no grammatical errors, but our grammarian shall correct me if I was wrong. Overall, the delivery of the speech, each section or each part that you spoke about was great. You had pretty good vocal variety. To me, I may have been wrong, but it sounded like you were saying you were speaking in somewhat of the same tone the whole way through. In some parts, I heard you went up a little or down a little, but for the most part, it was mainly the same tone the whole way through. But other than that, eye contact, while I was watching you speak, it seemed like you kept glancing off to the side somewhat. So it seemed like you were reading notes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But you know, because how many times I've seen the glance, let's see, it was all right. Gestures, though, you excelled in gestures. I seen you using your hands when talking about certain things. And overall, your gestures, your body language, you're sitting up nice and straight. Gestures, moving your hands, it was great. The audience awareness, or including the audience, I would say you need to work on that a little bit, at least. Like include the audience, ask them a question, and speak about a certain part. But other than overall, pretty well, comfortable. I'd say you seem very comfortable giving the speech since you were talking about yourself. And I'm sure you know yourself more than anybody else here would. So you seem very comfortable and interest. During that speech, you gave plenty of things that happened during your life that would keep the audience interested in the speech the whole way through. So some things that you probably need to work on would be include your audience a little bit more and maybe the vocal variety the whole way through. And to challenge yourself, maybe use less notes, work on the memory a bit more. Other than that, you excelled in gestures, comfortability, and the interest and the clarity of your speaking. Other than that, thank you, Mr. Don Gray, for the excellent speech.
Thank you so much for that kind assessment. Now let's call on the grammarian.
Here's my table topics, and also for speaking. So for Michael, I caught 1/4 of the thought. It's like
So, so Donald was excellent. I caught 3 ums and 1 from Ray. From Daniel, I caught 4 ums and 1 so. From Xavier, I caught 1. For Jonathan, I caught 2 I did not. For Joseph, you were excellent. For Tim, you got 6 and 1 light. And for Peter, you got 1.
Thank you so much. And now let me call up the timer for today.
Okay, good job, everyone. For the prepared speeches, Michael, you were in time at 6 minutes and 34 seconds. Great speech. Mr. Don Gray, you were also in time at 6 minutes and 2 seconds. An awesome speech as well. For the table topic session, Ray, you had 37 seconds, which is a bit under time, but excellent speech. Daniel, you had 31 seconds, which is also under time. Work on that, try to speak a bit more. Xavier, you were in time at 1 minute 40 seconds. My speech, I didn't press the timer, so I'm not sure. Hopefully I was in time. Tim, you were also in time at 1 minute 29 seconds. Peter, you were in time at 1 minute 23 seconds. All very good speeches. And lastly, for the evaluations, Peter, you were in time at 2 minutes 16 seconds. And lastly, Xavier, you were at 3 minutes and 21 seconds, which is overtime, but excellent evaluation. Back to you, Toastmaster, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. And now for my general evaluation of the overall meeting. First, let me say hats off to the evaluators for giving a very good evaluation of both the speakers. As far as the audio today, I don't know what happened, but we were having difficulties hearing a lot of what was happening there at the school. So after the meeting, perhaps Anna and we can readjust or address what happened, so we'll have the good audio clarity that we used to have. Other than that, let me get back to the quick notes that I have. For the timer, excellent job at timing as being a timer. The note that I sent about mirroring your screen, I don't know why it didn't work. So we can address that also, because we saw your timer screen and backgrounds, they were all reading right to left. Nothing wrong with reading right to left if you read right to left, right? But for the most part, English folk, we read left to right. So if you can mirror your image, and I can show you how in a moment. Excellent speech. The one thing that I took from Senior Toastmaster or Distinguished Toastmaster Gray, he's a man of integrity. He put it all out there and showed us all how to deliver a powerful, hey, this is all about me speech, right? So I know next week and the coming weeks, each one of you, or at least a number of you, will be engaged in that icebreaker speech. Distinguished Toastmaster Gray showed us how to not pretend, but how to do it, right? The last thing that I'll note, what gained my interest or attracted my interest, was the technical side. And the fact that we opened with that nice video, I want to say thank you to Anna. Overall, I think we did a wonderful job. I am so proud, as Anna has already stated, at the confidence and the maturity that each one of you guys have gained. Probably you already had it. We just had to mold it a little bit here. And I'm sure, as our former president Ray Wu said, when you get out there and you have to speak on the drop of a dime or quarter, you will have no problem doing what you do, and you do it well. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Horace Taylor, for that wonderful general evaluation report. It has been a great honor serving as a coordinator for the Memphis Cavaliers, and I will give return control to the president. That's my President Peter Shaw.
Thank you all for coming today. I would like to say again, thank you last year. It's been a very nice year. Me personally, I can say from experience, I feel like my public speaking has gotten tremendously better. Like I said before, I was running for student president. It really helped with a lot of the things in the situation I was put in, and I hope it will for the newcomers, and I hope it has for people who have been coming here for a while.
Hello, my name is Arlene List. Wow. I am so happy to have been invited here today. You all have blown me away. You are doing a great, great job here. I can't wait for you all to actually take that opportunity when you become 18 and become a Toastmaster, because people deserve to hear and see how well you all are doing. I'm just blown away to have just now come into this club. You all give yourself a hand, because today has been amazing. An eye-opener. You all have Madam Past District Director Tony Britnam, first time and only time President Distinguished District Director in the history of District 43. And I can see she may be learning from you all, because you all have a lot to teach us. But I can see she's instilled something in you as well. And that's your confidence and your bravery to come forward and speak your mind. Thank you all so much for this amazing opportunity. Horace, I see you out there too. The wisdom in the guys here. They are all gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Lillian. But know that Anna Jean is the rock and the motivator and the initiator for the Gavel Club. She keeps everybody on their toes and wanting and willing to move forward. So thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Anna Jean.
Thank you,
Jean. Thank you. You've done an amazing job. Amazing.
Dom and Eric. Thank y'all.
Assign roles.